Hi everybody, it's Christina from Card Making Magic. Do you have a pack of these in your stash and you're not quite sure what to do with them? They come in lots of different colours, you can get them in different sizes as well. But today I'm going to show you how to make this flower corsage for the front of your card. And it's just using one of the tags to mount the flowers onto. So one of the first things you need to decide is your colour scheme, and I'm going to use one of the cream tags. I have some doilies that I'm going to use, but I only need half of it, so I've cut one in half ready to use on the tag. I've decided to go with a pale green and a cream colour scheme, and I've chosen some feathers and some leaves, some twine, some roses and a few other bits and pieces that I might want to add to the card, but at least I have a base now to start with. So I'm just going to use an A4 card. I'm going to fold it in half to make a standard A5 size card, and I don't know about you, but I like to put my name on the back of my cards so that if I sell them or people receive them, at least they know where it's come from. So I'm just going to fold that in half, and I'm going to use it in the portrait position. So having decided to go with the green colour scheme, I'm going to use Distress Inks. This is Bundle Sage and this one is Forest Moss. And I've also got some blending tools which I've made, and these just help you to blend the inks onto your card. And of course you have a different blender for each different colour. So there's my tag, and I'm just going to take the string out of it and I'm going to put it down onto a non-stick craft mat. And the first thing I'm going to do is go over the tag with Bundle Sage. So if you start off the card on the mat and just gently rub your blending tool over it, and you're just going to go all round it. You can blend the streaks in. Try not to make the streaks, but if you're a bit clumsy like I am, you can blend them in. So I'm just going to go around the edges. Now I'm leaving the other side clear because I want to add the darker, the forest moss into that part. So again, I'm just going to put some ink onto the blender, and I'm going to start again off the edge and just work my way onto the card. And because I've already done one this morning, I've got ink all over my fingers. So I'm just going to blend that in. And I'm not bothered that if mine goes patchy, because that all adds to the charm of the handmade card. So I'm just going to blend it in. I'm going to use the other tool to blend in a little bit more, just to blend in the edges. And then I'm going to go all round the edges with the darker one, just to make them a little bit more prominent. Now once I've done that, I'm going to add half a doily to the top. I'm quite happy with that now. Now all I'm going to do is add the white doily to the top, and I'm going to add it so that it sits on this side of the tag. Now I've gone ahead and done one there, but if I decided not to go with the dark colour on the tag, I can leave the tag clear, just go around the edges and colour the doily instead. So there you've got couple of choices that you might want to do for yours. I'm going to go with the coloured card, the coloured tag and the white doily. Now once you've done your colouring in on your craft mat, just clean it off with a baby wipe and just dry it with a piece of kitchen towel. And that's now ready for you to go ahead and decorate the tag. So there's my tag, and these are the flowers that I've decided to use. So I have a different selection of flowers, and because I want to mount the tag onto another piece of card, I've just added it to the card, cut round it, matched the hole, and that's now ready to work on. So all I'm going to do is add the flowers in a dry run first to see where I would like them. So I'm going to use the bigger roses and a small cherry blossom in the bottom. I'm going to use the white cherry blossoms on either end, and then I think we'll add some lilies in to the bargain. It doesn't matter that they're coming off the tag, that's all part of the card, and I'm going to add some ivy leaves in there as well. So I think we'll trail some of the ivy leaves that will come down the card. This is just a dry run, this is just to see where I like them, and then if I don't like them I can always move them and put them in another arrangement, but that's not too bad. So there I have all my flowers glued in place. It doesn't matter that they're overhanging the tag, because that's the effect that I want. And now I can go ahead and make the card and add the tag to it when it's completed. So let's start to make the card. Now, as I said, I've folded my A4 in half. I've gone ahead and made some mats to mat and layer. So I've sticking with the green, I've made a smaller mat for the top. I've made an even smaller one for that, keeping the colours coordinated. Now I've decided to use the dark green on the doily, and on one of the doilies, and I'm going to add that to the back of the card, and then on top of that I've made another mat, and I'm going to layer that with some contrasting or some stripy green paper, and then under there I've made another mat which I'm going to add at an angle, and some of the cream paper on the top. And then on top of that I will sit my little arrangement on the tag. And then I've also got a sentiment which says, live your life and forget your age. I'm going to map that onto some of the matching green card, and I'm going to place that at the bottom of the card. So I'll go ahead and glue those in place. Now the easiest way to make your mats and to make sure that they fit what you want is to cut the mat to the size that you want, and then lay your paper on top, and all I do is just make a little pencil mark in the area that I want to cut it. Go away and cut that, and then when you come back you know that that mat will fit the other part exactly as you want it to be. Now I use a wet glue to keep mine in place, so if you just put some wet glue on the back, and because it's wet it gives you time to move the layer around if you should get it so it's not straight. And there you have one of the matted and layered pieces for your card. Now the beauty of this wet glue is if you get some on the front of your card, it doesn't matter because this glue just rubs away. So if you just rub it, it will disappear into a little ball, and that's it gone. It doesn't leave a mark on your very best paper. So I've added the mats and the layers to the card and the doily to the card, and they're just flat. But the little corsage on the tag I'm going to add with double-sided foam tape, and I'm going to put that towards the top of the card, but I'm going to keep it on an angle just to make it look a little different. And I've added a foam pad to the back of the sentiment, and that's going to go towards the bottom of the card. I'm just going to tuck it under that flower there. Now the next thing I want to do is add a ribbon, and I'm just going to do it in white, and I'm going to add it to this part of the card at the top. So if you take your length of ribbon, and if you make a loop in it and hold it in the first finger and your thumb of whichever hand you work with, your right or your left, take the ribbon around the back of your fingers and bring it across the front of this loop, and then hold it with the first finger and thumb of your other hand. Push this part of the ribbon through the back of the loop and pull it through. And when you pull it through, slip your thumbs through the loops, hold the tails in your fingers and pull. And then you can adjust it to the size that you want it. Keep pulling it as you're tightening it, as you're adjusting it, and then you have the ribbon at the size that you want it. Now you need to cut the tails to make them look pretty, and a nice way to do this is to fold your ribbon in half and keep the join, or should I say keep the open edges to one side. I've done those to my right side, and I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut up the ribbon, and that will give you just a nice little shape at the end of your ribbon. So I'm going to do the same with the other side. Fold the ribbon in half, keep the open end to the right, take your scissors, cut upwards, and there you have, there you have the tails to your ribbon. Excuse my inky fingers. And I'm just going to add that to the top of the card. I'm going to tuck it behind the flower, and I'm just going to add that there. And then in the centre of the ribbon I've decided to add a button, and all I've done is taken a pearly button and some of this twine. I've threaded the twine through the holes in the button, and I'm just going to add that to the top of the ribbon. So there we have the finished card. Did you spot the deliberate mistake? Yep, I forgot to mount the label onto its little backing, but not to worry, it doesn't look too bad anyway. And here are the other cards that are done the same. There's the blue one, and there's a pink and green one. Now with these two I've added hat pins just to add a little finishing touch to the card, and I'm going to find a hat pin that will go with this. So there we have a very pretty pearl and green hat pin, and I'm going to add this, take the bottom off, thread it through, but I'm going to add this in this position on the card. And either one of those make a very pretty little gift as well as the card, because these will be removed and can be used in a lapel.